then I think that there is a really, really good chance we see Oxygen just get completely shut down on this one as well. Oxygen is a very momentum-based team, in my opinion, and we saw evidence of that in that previous map. As further we got into that matchup, the closer we got to Tempo winning, it just seemed like Oxygen were really starting to kind of fall to pieces there. So you can't really get that into that mindset once again, because if that same thing ends up happening, I feel like we're going to end up with the same situation where Tempo will just look to shut things down as quickly as possible and knock the members of Oxygen out piece by piece. A strategy that worked very well on the previous map. Bans are going on though, and we were going to have, well, the usual, at least for the last patch, the usual bans coming out here as Thatcher and Maverick going to be eliminated.
Yeah, that means Ace is going to be up on the board, and he's a pretty dangerous character. We've talked about him a little bit throughout the day, but if we haven't, there's that Well My band that we were talking about earlier. But if we haven't, or if you guys have just joined in on the broadcast, we'll talk about him a little bit now for you guys. He offers 3 hard breach pieces of utility, and they're called Selma charges. They're actually really, really good, and you can activate them all at the same time. It's a simple toss. They have their own self-detonation, so right when it hits the wall, it immediately starts going to work. So things like Consulate's Garage and, things that are like a triple wall, he can destroy all of it damn near at the same time. It's a very scary thing, especially when you're a site player. Valkyrie's going to be our last ban here on Cafe as we now jump into things.
Yeah, Valcams can be hidden quite well on this map, so just another operator you don't want to have to deal with, especially with IQ not necessarily coming into the mix super often so far in this series. Doesn't really seem like an operator that either team wants to have to bring, so they were going to try and avoid that issue by knocking out the Valkyrie and hopefully avoiding it a little bit there.
Well, it shouldn't be, too irregular waters for either of these teams, as both of them have been starting on their respective sides all day today. Tempo's been on offense to start the map every single time, and, well, obviously, due to reducing everything, Oxygen was on the defensive side the entire time. So Vert 6-picking away from the Doc, picking up the Alibi. Not a bad 6-pick at all. Doc is an operator that can obviously heal his teammates. Doesn't really offer that much utility outside of that. But Alibi, oh Alibi, she offers quite a bit, especially a deployable shield. That's exactly why Vertical and the rest of OXG will be bringing her. They're bringing her for that shield. More than likely going to be placed inside of Pixel, but she also offers those prismas that can get you a little bit more info.
All right, folks, we'll take a look at the setup here. Everything looking pretty standard so far for the third floor hold here on Oxygen. Not too much in terms of a varied strat that teams bring to the table when it comes to holding the site. It's usually a very similar formula from team to team, and it looks like that's exactly what we're going to get here. The walls going west and east will be reinforced on the inside of Freezer and Bathroom, but the north to south walls will be left soft so that we can have a rotation opened up for the defenders that need to get into a safer position and eventually through the other west to east wall that goes into the hallway back into the safety of Cocktail, should that be necessary.
Well, pretty nice setup here for Oxygen. They're going to put the other shield inside of the deep freeze door. Also have Fox 8 play downstairs with some reinforcements of his own. And reasoning for that is that Fox 8 downstairs' Kaid can actually electroclaw the freezer walls through verticality. It's a very unique thing, especially when Thatcher's off the board. This is very difficult to deal with. They have to go downstairs and deal with Fox 8. Otherwise, they can't get any of these walls inside of Christmas open.
See a bit of a slow start to the round here for Tempo. Definitely doing some exploring here before they try to commit themselves to anything. Creator seemed like he was messing around over on the second floor, although I don't know if he actually went to the inside. I thought I saw him on red stairs for a second, but don't necessarily know if that was true. Either way, kept himself in safe positioning to make sure that no one from Oxygen was going to be able to get an early kill off against the Ash from Tempo there. And now you're going to have quite a few more players jumping on Repel. Looks like the upside down Repel pressure is going to start to work its way in onto the piano windows. That'll put some pressure onto players like Vert. Vert may actually have to deal with 2 as well here. They're just burning out the ADSs at the moment, trying to make sure that he has no support in the event. They want to try to chuck a frag back there to take out the barricade first, obviously, and if luck should prevail, Vertical as well.
Yeah, Vert still has an ADS, and now he's bagged himself a kill as well. It's going to be Dream off of the ticket window, and Jarvis is going to pick up the mantle. So, finally clearing out that utility. Vertical's going to scamper off down White Hallway as Tempo Storm has finally gotten Christmas control. But as we referenced earlier, that is not nearly at all what they need. Downstairs is exactly what they need to handle right now. Fox 8 with these Electro Claws locked down this entire wall, and that means that there's a lot of safe areas for these defensive players to maintain control of and stop these plants from happening. Granted, if they did get some site control, they can just cut off Fox 8 rotating back upstairs with Laxing, so there is still some options here for Tempo Storm. We'll have to see what they go with.
Tempo looking to try and get some control here, but the problem is away from Piano and there's the top red area like Cigar. They haven't really been able to bargain for much in the round at this point, and I don't see any players in, clutch positions that are going to come in late round to try and change that up for them. They are very much going to have to push into the brunt of the entire Oxygen force here. And all 5 of them are still up, standing strong. Slash is the only one that's even taking any damage at this point. Despite all those issues, they are still able to try and go for a plant here. Crazy's going to be unfortunately denied, though, as Slash gets a bit closer to him. But a nice attempt from Tempo. It will be for naught, though, as Creators is left as the last man standing in a 1v5. Eventually isolated out there by Slash. Oxygen take a convincing round number 1 here. Flawless, in fact, as they take the lead.
Just missed the entire buck there. The entire shot went right behind the thing that they were trying to hit, which is very unfortunate. But Tempo did start off, the usual way that we see teams start off on Cafe. Hey, we need Christmas control. Start working on either trash wall or trying to get control of the white hallway. It just obviously depends. But this time around, they had to worry about that mid-level, which they just were not ready for. They really didn't drone at anybody down the stairs. Laxing and Fox had probably one of the calmest rounds that they've had throughout this entire series so far. They kind of just sat on their hands and really didn't have to do too much. Eventually, Laxing rotates back upstairs and helps his team with a flawless round. Tempo Storm is the team that needs to pick up things right now, because otherwise I don't really see them making it out of the woods. They really need to get some rounds here on the offense, at least the 2 that we're used to.
All right, folks. Well, just around the usual rotations here now for Oxygen. There was some more unorthodox picks, I guess you could say, back over on Villa, but they're following the usual trends here, as most teams often do on Cafe right now, as they're going to move down into Kitchen, their second site. So a little bit of a different play style. Obviously, quite a bit of anchoring to be done within the site. A lot of denial focus as well here on top of trying to maintain some second and third floor control as long as possible. And we'll see that all unfold over the next 3 minutes and 10 seconds here. This Tempo is going to be spawning in just a sec.
5 seconds to go.
All right, well, I'm excited to see how Tempo's going to handle Kitchen. This is usually something that we see taken from the top down clear. Sometimes we can see, obviously, some pushes inside of Bakery. Every team's got a little bit of a different mixture here. But for OXG, they've definitely set up for the roam. And I'm trying to see if the freezer hatch has popped here. It looks to be soft right now. So soft for the time being on this extended roam for OXG. The reason I was checking that, folks, is because we've seen a few rosters, most notably BDS, has a strat where they roam on Cafe on that mid-level and then all drop down the freezer hatch after they delayed a crazy ton of time. So obviously, since Fox A is mute, he can always just shotgun that open for them. Looking here now, Malusi's already used her impacts as well, so it does seem that Fox A could be the saving grace to pop that hatch. What's up?
Pretty sure they also have one of the freezer walls half reinforced too, just for people who are curious about that. I might have seen that wrong.
They do. They do. But that's because Laxing's playing in that white area, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So that's allowing for Laxing to have some room to fall back there if the need arises, on top of just allowing anybody behind that to get a good angle against a white stairs push, should we see that from Tempo. Minute gone from the round here. Oh, and we are going to see the first kill. This time it's Creators, though, more than likely on that Ash. Yes, indeed. And it's going to be able to knock out Vert over here at the 3rd to 2nd floor transition on white stairs.
Unfortunate for him, but Oxygen's still going to stick to their guns as Laxing is slowly falling off of white stairs. Nothing just yet. Waiting for somebody to hop over and make the critical mistake here. Drones go down, but nothing down white stairs just yet. And there it is. Finally finding Laxing on the mid-white stairs. We'll rotate back down to site. Decent roam game here from Oxygen, but losing quite the member indeed. Fox A gonna fall off as well after Slash takes a little bit of damage. Setting up for holding down the dining door, actually, is Fox. So this could be a little tricky here for Tempo Storm if they're not exactly ready for it as they start the verticality.
Some of the stun charges coming in from the lifeline there on Dream, but not going to impact onto much since things have been abandoned. Takes Tempo a couple extra seconds to realize that their drone was not in position at the same time the charges went in. So now, of course, very obviously realizing it, they are going to start to stack up over on the top of that hatch. They do want to try and do a little bit of soft destruction in the area around it first, just to make sure that there's no surprises waiting on the bottom so they can try to get as much intel as possible. Drone's going to help them out with that task as well. A lot of pre-place soft destruction now being done here from Tempo. They don't have a whole lot of time, so this is going to be an all-in-one execute here. If this fails, that's the end of the round for them, as not only will they probably not have enough time left to do anything if it fails, but One of the man count either. Foxy's going to be pressured first, tries to swing, but gets denied by Dream. Another advantage going over to Tempo, and they're still standing 5 strong, down to 3. Scratch that, 2 for OXG, as Slash will be caught out in the kitchen, as will Bio. Everything falls to Laxing. He can't get it done either. Tempo respond to the first loss with a flawless round here in the kitchen attack, and are going to be able to tie us up at 1-1.
2 flawless rounds in a row by their respective teams. Very, very cool stuff, actually. I didn't even think Temple was going to be able to pull that off. It just a very... How do you even put this? They just caught OXG off on timing. Like, Oxygen was
really
not ready.
Slow reactions. Some really slow reactions, it seemed like they're from OXG, most notably from like Slash, and as well Fox, I think, had some possible timing issues on trying to take the fight. He might have just misheard the sound cues or something like that. There's a lot of things that could have gone on. We were looking at it from top down, so we didn't get the best picture of it, but yeah, things unfortunately in the site for OXG fell apart really quickly, and that just compounded it for Tempo to allow them to get so much control so quickly, despite the kind of lack of time they had.
And I think that's exactly why we're going to see a line change here from Oxygen. Get rid of the Bandit, pick up the Kaid. Might try and lock down the hatches here, which I think is a good idea. Only because Temple really had a dog in that fight, just because they could flood the site from that freezer hatch. That was the only reason that they ended up winning that entire round. Oxygen wasn't ready for it because they thought that Tempo was going to stick to the verticality. They saw that obviously Sledge was still doing some work over in, the K1, K2 area. There was still some areas that Tempo needed to worry about. But instead, they just said, screw that. We'll just flood the site. And it worked very, very well. Caught Oxygen completely off guard. Fox A just swings freezer door and gets immediately killed. And then they have bunker control. It's one of the safest places to plant in the entire map. So, I mean, for Tempo, that was the saving grace that they needed, was that hatch to be open.
So usual reinforcements still going to go down onto the ground here, and it looks like we definitely had the hatch get reinforced this time around here, judging from the debris on the floor. So definitely not going to take a chance on leaving that one this time around here. That does mean that Oxygen wants to be a little bit careful with their roaming position. It looks like they're just kind of on more of a horizontal roam instead of a vertical roam here. As you can see, there's players trying to hold, like Fox, for instance, is going to try and deny presence on this specific hallway, and he can do that pretty well from the smoke as long as he doesn't get caught from the other end.
All right, well, it looks to be a top-down clear once again for Tempo Storm, as everybody has gotten to the roof. Mark's working on the hatches, and we will begin the clear. Last time around, though, we saw Oxygen holding down this mid-floor. Tempo, not very many early drones. There's only been one that's been eliminated. That's been Creators, so it could have possibly been trying to see exactly what was going on early game, seeing if there was any, roaming going on. Got that drone killed, so now they got to go for the full clear here, and they don't have any prior intel. So pick up that drone, start clearing down towards the mid-level. So far, so good for Tempo Storm. It's just a big waiting game right now for Oxygen as Tempo clears out half the map.
Mark, of course, be cautious here as he clears out some of the easy hatches on the 3rd floor, the free ones anyway. Not going to find much sitting below them, though, because like I said before, it's much more of a horizontal roam this time from Oxygen. They're not too focused on trying to deny the top clear that's currently coming out from Tempo. Oh, a little bit of self-damage. Thankfully, it's only like 5 or 6 HP, I think, so... Actually, it's more like 10. Never mind. So that does hit pretty hard.
Those things can kill you. I think that the scariest thing about breaching charges now is that they can stun you if you're under them when they use those breaching charges. And it's a very, very scary thing because I'm still not used to it to this day. So when it happens to me, I'm like, what did I just get hit with? I have no idea what just happened. And they can also kill you. If you get breaching charged above you twice, they can actually kill you with the... oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the system name. Not projectile. What's the thing? The thing. Shrapnel
Debris?
system. There we go.
Shrapnel,
You're not helping me, John. Dang it. It's my first day back too. All right.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Less than a minute now, though, as Creators worked his way down white, but still plenty of Oxygen members to worry about, as John was previously stating. Lots of horizontal play here.
Yeah, this is going to be the biggest test here. But the good news is they have the angle in a freezer open. They just don't know what's on the other side of it. Bio's doing some crazy run out, by the way. I don't know what was going on with him. He was out in the open for a good 5 or 6 seconds. He gets denied. It's a sea of blue yet again. Tempo getting all the kills. 4 just in the last few seconds. Laxing at least gets 1 trade for himself. Let's make it 2 as he takes out Jarvis. But he's got a lot more work to do. Still 3 more players alive. He's already onto his pistol. He's going to swing it 2. Gets another one. Let's make it 4. Laxing, what are you doing right now? He's going to try and clutch clutch this. The only hard part of this is he needs to realize that Mark is still above him, but the good news is he's denied the plant. He can play this on time now and just let it run out, and that's exactly what he's not gonna have to do. As he comes in, shuts Mark down on the drop, and gets the ace on top of it. Amazing play from Laxing.
Laxing, you absolute rat. Who in their right mind swings that with a pistol? You do. You swing it with a pistol and you win it. That was so impressive. Oh man, creators. What are you doing, buddy? Like, you gotta pay attention, man. I don't know. I'm gonna assume he didn't hear him. I don't think that he got the audio cue that Laxing came through kitchen double, and that's just so unfortunate for him. Creators caught off guard by just looking at the wrong angle, and he ends up winning out that entire situation on not only minimal HP but with a pistol.
Laxing typing in chat, I was indeed John Wick during that round. So some beautiful stuff from him right there. Laxing is feeling stuff right now. That is for sure.
Hey man, I listen. He can say whatever he wants now. He's earned that. I don't give a damn. That man. That was some very impressive stuff.
That was
yeah,
crazy
to make it even more impressive for the guys that are wondering like, oh well, he just got the kills and killed the guy that was watching the planner. That's not that big of a deal. Did you guys see the execute from Tempo? They were it was like cockroaches. They were just everywhere. They were all over the site. It was truly impressive what they were able to pull off there, especially with the members still inside of VIP. I mean, Tempo practically just walked into Freezer, got all of the kills on site, and started trying to put a diffuser down. And then Laxing just, wakes up the ancient inside of himself and kills the entire team like it's nothing. So I don't know where that Laxing's been, but they definitely need him now. I can tell you that.
I mean, let's be real. Like, he's been trying to make plays like that before. It just hasn't really been working out for him when he's usually tried to do it so far in this series. That was the first time we've seen it come into full light, where it's gotten him like the outright ace and the full-on comeback in the round as well. Beautiful stuff from him, finally paying off. Definitely a huge missed opportunity for Tempo, of course. I think Creators, just to go back to like his kill, because that was obviously the most pivotal one in that situation there. That's what allowed him to open up the actual clutch potential. I may have missed but I was looking at the replay for a second. Like, he might have been pre-fire there. That might have been how he got away with the audio cue, but I'm not 100% on that. So that's one we're definitely gonna have to watch the VOD for and see what exactly went down there.
Yeah, I don't think Tempo's watching the VOD on that one. That one was a little rough there. Well, Oxygen once again with this mid-level setup is going to be the top floor once again, but this time they're not bringing the Electroclaws, folks. Oh, no. We have 3 armors on the board. We have Mira, Maestro, and Echo all set up. So haven't seen exactly where these Evil Eyes are just yet. Do have some burn here on Pixel, in which Creators is in control of. Doesn't seem to have anybody close to him either. And since Mutant Smoke aren't on the board, not going to have to worry about getting swung with an M590. That gun is quite scary in those instances.
Can see here now, Foxy gonna get a little tricky with the angle, jumping up on top of one of the cocktail bars, looking for an opportunity to snag one there, but not gonna happen so easily, of course. It's all about patience here right now. Away from that, already getting pretty low on the timer here as well in the round itself. Moving ourselves through this one very, very quickly. Tempo needs to get into position here soon, but thankfully doing that is not necessarily the hard part. The hard part is transitioning that position closer into the site, which is the problem they're having right now, trying to work their way through areas like the bathroom and be able to either get out onto the main bar or swing over towards
this is huge.
They prioritize main bar before. Oh man, nice denial there from Vert.
I honestly didn't think that he was going to win that. I didn't think Vert would be ready.
Yeah, I didn't think either.
That's why I was like, oh, this is huge. Oh, yeah, and it was definitely not huge. That was definitely a very nice kill there by Vert. Now Foxy moving up wide. Vert's called for that. A little bit of assistance. See if he can possibly hold this down any longer. Loving this setup here for Oxygen. They've thrown every curveball they possibly can at Tempo Storm, and it is slowing them down so much. Fox, they're going to hop out of White Stairs. Gets taken down, but it's more of a delay factor more than anything because, Mark, the rest of your teammates are dying inside a site, and someone else has hopped outside, and it's going to be the rat himself, Laxing. Might as well follow it up twice. They're never ready for the, 1-2 buckle my shoe. So, Oxygen going to lock things up. That's 3 rounds for them now on the defensive side of Cafe.
And again, this type of play is going to start to get like frustrating for Tempo Storm to play against too. Thankfully for them, they like to deal with it for 2 more rounds. But this is what I was talking about with like the momentum-based play that we often see from OXG. After a play like that, they know the Tempo are going to be very afraid right now. and overall are going to be like a little bit discouraged, right? At the end of the day, you just lost like I think it was an outright 1v5 from him there. So when you're faced up against a situation like that, OXG are now trying to push the button down even further by getting hyper aggressive against Tempo, even to like ridiculous extents with the window hop outs and whatnot here, just to try and seal the deal and make Tempo play incredibly passive so that they can control the game pace. And that's exactly what they did on that last round there.
Oh, it's some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Again, I'm gonna commiserate Oxygen for bringing all of these lineups that they've shown so far. There's so many different faces and hats that they've worn. You know what I mean? Like, especially on the upstairs site, we saw the initial bar setup, and it looked nothing like the setup that they had. They brought some new operators, brought a fresh new look to it, and showed Tempo something that they hadn't seen just yet. And Tempo was what? They were stumped. They had no idea to really how to go about handling that situation. Eventually, they tried to put some manpower onto the actual, cocktail window set, but Oxygen was ready for that too. It was very late into the game. They hop a man outside. Granted, Foxay does die, but the damage has already been done. The rest of Oxygen is handling the people inside of the building. You send Lax outside to deal with the last one, and that's yet another round for them. Tempo Storm just continues to get stuck inside of Christmas on that bar take.
All right, folks, round 5 here. Oxygen already with some show-stopping performances being brought in from the previous rounds. Need to bring it a little bit further, though. Still 4 more rounds are needed for them to seal the deal on this series and get the full-on W versus Tempo. Tempo, of course, has shown some impressive stuff today as well, and they really going to need to rally back after the round they lost a few ago. Try and bring them back into the fold for this one. Currently 2 rounds behind, so still very, very salvageable. But as we mentioned, definitely discouraged after a round like that. Hopefully, given the fact these guys are professionals, they're able to quickly shake that off and get themselves focused on the game again. I have no doubt that they should be able to do that. So let's see exactly what the attack is looking like. Very top-down focused once again. We are going to see 3 or 4 players, in fact, all up on top here. Let's make it 5 as well, now that Dream is going to be joining them. And over the next couple seconds after the drones have cleared things out, we'll start to see the players move in through those hatches and begin the work of clearing out the roam presence here. It's going to be Foxay and Vert first, as they're holding top white and Cocktail.
Well, the initial problem right now for Tempo Storm is they're going to need some verticality inside of the Christmas area to be able to deal with Train inside of Laxing. They don't have enough hard destruction to get that hatch open and still do everything else that they want to do. So I don't really see them using 2 on the hatch. They might use 1 to, try and make a line of sight and then use the other 2 on like the pillars area or what have you. But I don't see them trying to get that Christmas hatch open when they can just create verticality. So once they actually handle that situation, we'll have to see where they're going to try and put this diffuser down. As for right now, though, obviously the clear's still going on upstairs, and they have full site control now, or at least top control, excuse me. So now the verticality will come through for Tempo Storm, as their main focus is breaking up that reading room floor.
A presence going to be put on that, down to a minute. A little over a minute here for Tempo Storm, so still plenty of time to set this up as well. Thankfully, the clear has been done with plenty of extra time to spare. The only thing they have to worry about is the extra aggression that may be coming out from Oxygen, but thankfully they've shut that down. Dream hunting out through the top-down angles here. Members of the defensive team is going to be able to find out Slash and eliminate him. So down goes the Malusi, and up goes Tempo in a 5v4 man advantage here, at least at the beginning of the round.
There's going to be some very awkward places held by Oxygen. See if Tempo's ready for that. We can already see 2 over inside of the train engine area. Toxic Babe down to hold down reading, and that's right on timer. Actually, no, it's not. Fox already out of those Toxic Babes, and Tempo Storm now ready to take complete control of this reading area. They have the verticality set up. Still 5 man alive for Tempo as well. Only 3 remaining for Oxygen. Crazy in the door, and he's got 1 on the floor. Diffuser now down, and he's about halfway through. This post plant looking beautiful right now for them, as Vert's the last man alive. This might be yet another flawless round here for Tempo Storm. That'd be 2 for them, the only 2 rounds that they've won so far. Still kind of winnable, not really though, as Dream swings the door and ends up killing Vertical, and yet another flawless round here for Tempo Storm. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it right, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the rounds we've seen won by Tempo, because I think they're I'm trying to remember if they're 2 or 3
2.
right now. We'll see.
They won the kitchen
2, right?
flawless and the reading flawless.
Yeah, that's what I was about to lead into. Is both the rounds they have won have been flawless. So when Tempo are coming in and winning rounds, man, they're winning them decisively, and that's something that OXG definitely needs to keep in mind here, because yeah, they're also winning rounds, but they're winning them off of like crazy individual plays. To be fair, not all of them. The other 2 have been won through pretty traditional means, but they can't really rely on heads-up plays like that, especially when Tempo is keeping up with you. and the 2 rounds that they've won have been flawless.
Hey,
as
I
well.
completely agree with you. I think that, especially for instance, like Slash down around the pillars area, I was a little aggressive for like still having full man count on both teams, and it ended up getting him punished. Tempo was ready for it. They saw him swing it, downed him, got the kill. It's things like that where you have to put a little bit more respect on the name, right? In the situation that you're in. And I'm not obviously trying to tell Slash how to play the game. The man knows how to play the game. It just stuff happens every once in a while, you know. When you're up 5-5, there's some things that aren't the greatest thing to do. Slash tried to make a play and it just didn't happen. Very unfortunate for him. So but now going down into the very last round here, I've been very impressed with Tempo Storm so far throughout Cafe. What have you been thinking about him?
No, yeah, like this, I pegged this one as a pretty weak map for them, but to be fair, like they're holding on pretty well. They're getting torn apart to like some more aggressive plays from Oxygen, and that's happening every once in a while. But like the core gameplay seems pretty solid right now from Tempo, especially looking at the rounds they've actually won.
Very team oriented, and that's really what I've liked to see from Tempo Storm.
Which again harks back to like the really good analytical team that's sitting behind the 5-man roster on Tempo as well, doing all the prep research and whatnot. So you got to give props to them for like making sure that the team strategies are really, you know, locked down tight going into a map like this.
Yeah, I think this is something that we can kind of chalk up to not only Jarvis coming onto the team, but Rams coming into the staffing.
Yeah.
These are both people that not only on previous teams, but whenever you talk to them, they are more focused around that, you know, team style of Siege. And that's exactly what Siege is about. It really is about supporting your team in, you know, any way possible here. So might have some aggressive plays now from Vert as he's upstairs all on his lonesome. Went for a very aggressive play underneath the red hatch, but obviously since he is Vigil, he can really do whatever he wants as long as the drone does not see him without the cloak on.
Rocking the mouse sports skin too. That's a bit of a throwback.
Major throwback.
But, yeah. Vert was trying to get a bit aggressive initially, as you said, under the red hatch.
Oh
Has to
my.
fall back. Oh, he's going to be able to find one, though, as Creators gets caught. Unfortunately, is not ready immediately, anyway, to take the fight over here at the 90 angle at the edge of White Stairs. So Dream does get quick revenge, trades it out. Still manages to get right around like 40 HP off of Dream, though. So still a little bit of extra damage, which may come in later in the round. But it hasn't necessarily taken Dream out of the fight in any capacity. He can still take duels.
Nothing's taking that man out of the fight. He has an L8, sir. Or not an L8, a G8, excuse me.
Yeah, the G8.
Yeah, no, G8. L8 is a much worse gun. It's still a good gun, but it's definitely no G8. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, back to things that actually matter. Like, hey guys, you should definitely go pick up the battle pass because that skin is beautiful, by the way. And chromatic streaks, amazing. Chroma streaks. Go get it.
He's like
It's
showing it
beautiful,
off,
man. It's beautiful. The attachment skin's purple. If you're a DZ fan, you need that in your arsenal. I already dropped the full money on the full thing. Yes, I'm a sellout. I know. I'm sorry. Anyways, jumping down into the last minute here, Tempo Storm's made decent headway upstairs, but this verticality is really what they need to worry about. We haven't seen too much of it. They've cleared out the top level through vertical play, but the site is actually kitchen, and that's the problem. Tempo needs to get downstairs and actually start getting some site pressure, because right now, they don't have any of it. Uh-oh.
Done a good job of clearing, though, and this is going to be tricky potentially here from Lax. Oh, he had players rushing right towards him a second ago as well. Was lined up perfectly. Still going to get the opportunity to try and take out the ace. Get some good damage onto Crazy, but moves just a second too soon there. He had to move, just to be clear. Otherwise, Crazy would have taken his head off, but still not enough time in that position in order to get the full kill on Crazy. So he's going to be okay with backing away, just the damage that he was able to get there.
I'm so very impressed, and now Laxing in the power position. Drop comes in. Is Dream ready for it? Oh, he is, but Laxing gets the better of him. Not very much damage done, and oh my god,
Ooh.
Laxing! He sprays through all of them. Fox8 now peeking the hatch, but it's gonna be Laxing for a fourth. It doesn't even matter. All drop from the same hatch. I'm gonna get all of the kills, baby. That is a perfectly played round there from Laxing. Nice shift over from Freezer. Nobody ready for him to be on that sink. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff, and that's gonna mean a 4-2 split in favor of Oxygen.
An amazing ace earlier on, and now a beautiful 4K holding against the massive drop there from Tempo as they tried to brute force the issue through the freezer hatches they had done successfully, to be fair, a few rounds ago. This time, though, the members of OXG, most notably Laxing, of course, very much ready to take that fight. Foxay, of course, getting an honorable mention on the assist from the bottom of that hatch, but enough presence to shut down the play from Tempo, and now sets OXG up with a 4-2 scoreline at this switch.
Yeah, I really don't think that that's the person that you want to feed kills. I don't know about that one. That's a pretty scary one. Laxing isn't exactly the individual to be like, oh man, yeah, I just got all these kills. Like, dude, I'm telling you right now, that man is on cloud 9. This is a very scary monster, chat. It's Laxing 10-0-2. That's the terrifying thing. If I was on the other team, that's not a fun sight. Especially when you're just now at the split. Through 6 round, man's got 10 kills. Oh, he's going to be swinging everything. He's got a G8. No, actually, he doesn't have a G8. He's actually got the 5.52 Commando. Very good kill layer pick.
The good news for Tempo, however, is we are now jumping onto defense for them, of course, and the problem is going to show up for Oxygen and the fact that if players like Laxing and to a lesser extent here, like Vertical and Slash, who have been making the most of the fragging impact here so far, if they go down early round and are not going to have, and the other players aren't going to have the capability to pick it up coming into a late round situation, like Fox specifically on defense there was really struggling. He was constantly taking fights by his own selection, and unfortunately for him was losing quite a few of them, as you can see from his current scoreline. So if that trend continues here on to attack and players like Laxing end up getting knocked out early, we could look at quite a few struggles for Oxygen still on this attack.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Fox. He's more the Steve Nash of the team. You know, not really scoring, but he's definitely there to assist. You know what I mean? And hey, you need people like that, man. Every once in a while, you know, the game isn't yours and it's somebody else's. And Foxy's just going through one of those instances. Granted, we still have half of the game to play left, so that can always change. Now, Oxygen focused on a bakery take. Already got the utility off of the wall. We're going to have a bandit trick go down, though, and Crazy. He actually gets... Did he use both of those? I'm going to check really quick. Did he use 2? He did. He got both of them. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That is so much utility gone for Oxygen now. They just assumed the wall was free. No one was there really doing anything. And Crazy still here with bandit batteries. That's going to be the last projectile there, utility piece for Kali. I forgot what the utility piece name was there for just a second. But anyways, now that means that the bandit batteries are going to be stuck on the wall. Bio and the rest of the Oxygen lineup can't do anything to that wall at all. And he still has all of his batteries. So Crazy locks down the entire kitchen area. Oxygen has to go somewhere else.
Great trick work there from Crazy. Has guaranteed relative safety for himself and to a certain extent Jarvis and Mark here as well. A lot less pressure that they'll have to deal with when it comes to the late round. So massive work being done from him. Now Oxygen have to look for the plan B here, and oh, what's it going to be? We'll figure this out in the next few seconds. Either way, though, they're going to have to try and take fights here soon. It looks like Fox is the first one to attempt to do so. Dream comes out on top of it, taking him out. Not really a lot of damage traded for it. Slash gets a great opportunity to trade, though, as he works himself down from 3rd to 2nd floor on red stairs and does manage to pick up a kill on Dream in the process.
The sad part is, though, this is all wasted time. This is not site pressure. This is simply roamers just wasting as much of your time as they possibly can. Or they are going to get another kill as Crazy puts his face in a hole in which it didn't belong, and Slash makes sure that he knows it. Mark going to take quite a bit of damage through some verticality, but Slash, once again, that's a triple kill. Seems that Tempo was really just giving up the entire store here.
Good work on the self-destruction early round from OXG there, because those angles that were set up have been allowing Slash to just absolutely destroy people. Problem, though, is that they're still having problems getting into the actual site on the bottom floor. Mark, most recently, picking up that trade against Bio there. Now more swings are going to come in. Vert is going to be able to pick up the kill against Mark. That'll allow them to get the diffuser back under their own control, but they only have 18 seconds left to plant it. They're attempting it now. Here comes the rotate from Creators here. He's going to try to roll back in, but nope, Vert's already got the angle to kill him there. And with that, Oxygen are going to take control of the first round on attack, keeping their lead strong at 5-2.
That's so unfortunate for Tempo Storm. Just way too many mistakes there when it came down to it, and Oxygen gets a free round because of that. Currently 5-2 in favor of Oxygen. They really didn't have a right to have that round there in that last little instance. All of your Heartbreak just gone. All of Kali's utility is gone as well. You really can't get a wall open. You have to funnel into the site. And then Tempo Storm just chooses to start peeking verticality into an AK-12. Not the greatest set of, ideas to ever come out of people, So for Tempo Storm, that's a botched round. Very unfortunate for them, but they feel like they can fix it. They're headed back downstairs to kitchen.
See if a quick little run back on this site will work out well here now. The folks on Tempo, they try to maintain control of yet another one for themselves here. Look to try and surge themselves forward and prevent what seems to be the inevitable win from Oxygen at this point. Tempo definitely still has some fight left in them, though, so Oxygen don't have this one fully under their own control just yet. It's up to the members of Tempo to make it happen. Slash, of course, gets an amazing mention on that previous round there, did the top-down play. Those spars are not oftentimes easy to play around, but Slash had some good angles set up for himself there on top of whoever had actually done the setup earlier on. I think that was probably Foxy doing quite a bit of that. So props to him for that good setup, which opened up plenty of fragging opportunities for Slash. He was able to pick up 3 kills in that last round through top-down play over like Train and Oil. Or Mining, not Oil. I don't know why I always call it
oil. It's nobody else knows this, but hey, it's our first day back. It's our first day back.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if
it's only like Sound like I haven't casted in like a
Yeah,
month.
hey, you know, like, I don't know if you know this, but casting can sometimes be difficult. Very,
I don't
very,
wanna get into this fight. I
very
don't wanna get into this
surprising
fight
thing,
right
I know,
now.
right? Anyways, Oxygen now making their way to the roof. Drones still winding up here as we are in the initial phases here. And this is the thing about Cafe. It does take a while to get to all the actiony bits that everyone loves to see, right? But the beauty of it is that if any mistake is made by any team, the round is practically the other team's. That's the thing about Cafe. If something dramatic happens, it's like, oh, okay. Like, you really don't have a leg to stand on, you know? Just because of the amount of verticality that's on this map, as well as the ways that you can lock down rotations. It really is beautiful to watch this map get played, but it really does suck when it comes down to like, hey, we're going to fall back to site, and we're just going to wait for you to try and do something. Dream tries to do something, but he gets a lot of damage for that, and that's exactly why people don't try to do things very early on Cafe, especially when you're going for a full map clear.
You can hear the prepped pump as he sits at the bottom of the stairs waiting for players to try and push white. It's going to be a couple more seconds before he gets an opportunity to try and use that shell, though. He's also sitting at low HP, so he's got to be a little bit careful. Gets spotted out by the drones. They know he's hiding out in the Christmas tree room downstairs. A preemptive C4 is chucked out. It's a little bit... Actually, excuse me, I think that's just Bio doing soft destruction. Never mind. So those are going to go onto the ground and open up more opportunities here for top-down play that OXG was able to use quite efficiently in the previous round here. Whether they'll find as much success around in this round is still yet to be seen, of course. But either way, you can see right now Bio using those angles that he just opened up for himself.
Well, Oxygen now working their way down to the bottom level here. Smoke grenade out. It's going to create this little half angle here as the nitro cell goes off. Actually get some nice soft destruction here that could possibly allow them to rotate him. But Slash is now planting. Nitro Cell out, does quite a bit of damage, but he goes immediately back to the bomb chassis now as Tempo Storm is all over this. Bio actually ends up getting one, but it's all down to Bio and Bio alone as Tempo and well, I almost said Tempo and the rest of the squad there, but Jarvis and the rest of the squad end up cleaning up this round. And that's exactly how they expected that one to go the last time. But again, just too much verticality on the previous round for them to deal with. End up getting picked off by that too often. This time around, though, able to stay up and actually end up winning things out based off of those utility uses. They kept Oxygen's... I don't know how to put this. They kept Oxygen's map control on the bottom floor very limited. They really only gave them white stairs as well as freezer. Everything else had to be, you know, have a hand on it through that vertical play. And this time it didn't work because Tempo had areas to actually, you know, set and be safe. They had bunkers to where, like, okay, I don't have to worry about what's going on upstairs. I can strictly worry about what's going on site. We had the staircases locked down, so on and so forth. And when it came down to the execute, Tempo was already ready.
I think when Bio used the breaching charges, the folks on Tempo probably realized that the execute was going to come primarily through that hatch and white stairs, so they just started to set up like a containment strategy at that point, making sure that they wouldn't be able to leave freezer or the white hall downstairs, just as you had mentioned. And that's exactly what happened. They never got any control further than that, and kind of got funneled into a kill box at the end of the round right there. So great stuff from Tempo to just shut it down, not leave much wiggle room there for Oxygen to try and actually get that plan onto the ground.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate that the first time around didn't end up like that, and they end up giving Oxygen around off of quite a few mistakes. But hey, I mean, you live and you learn. You know what I mean? There's not much you can do about it. Now the past is the past. The future is now, old man. So let's get into things. Tempo Storm now still trying to climb out of this hole that they've dug themselves. They need 2 rounds to tie things up, and 4 if they want to win it on this defensive side inside of regulation. If they do end up getting this in regulation, actually, Oxygen will have maxed things out already, so that'll be max inside of regulation. We'll just see how many times I can possibly say that. But I feel like we're more than likely going to OT here. I definitely think that Oxygen is still good for at least 1 round, if not closing it out.
Well, we'll see on that one. Like I said, in my opinion, we're seeing quite a bit of a momentum favored play here from Oxygen. A lot of the previous rounds oftentimes dictate how the next round's going to go for them. Not always, of course, but seems to be a common trend. Oxygen is going to go for a top-down clear here nice and quickly, and, well, they're going to kind of have to with a second floor site in play at the moment here for the folks over on Tempo. You do have both Mark and Creators holding the white and cocktail hold here for the usual position, I have to say, for the roamers. They've got a quick hatch that they can fall back through if things get a little bit too hot on top of the stairs themselves. Foxay, Vert, and I believe one other player from OXG starting to work their way through the 3rd floor now, with Foxay very much leading the charge.
Well, the terrible thing for OXG is they have the pulse to worry about. That's crazy downstairs. As you can see, the cardiac sensor's out in his hand, and that's exactly why Foxey's dead to rights. They already know where he is. He pinged the location. Mark knows exactly where to shoot, and he gets a free kill for it. Some very nice prodding here from Tempo Storm to get that early pick.
Continuing that very unfortunate story today for Laxing, or not for Laxing, excuse me, for Foxey as well, where can't seem to come out on top of a lot of these gunfights here. That one being thrust upon him, may have not even been ready for it in that situation here. Air jab's going to be thrown out there too. I don't even know if Creators heard that, but either way, it's going to stop him from retreating through the hatch for a split second. Still makes it out of there with full HP though, so good stuff.
And all they just have to lean on that timer. This is that point in time where the defense just lays back, holds their angles, makes sure that Oxygen can't get into any of these, desperate areas or crosses or what have you. But there's still a lot of work to be done upstairs, and as that timer continues to tick down, it's going to get worse and worse here for OXG. Vertical, using his last breaching charge, I do believe, actually second to last there, is he'll create yet another piece into the reading area. Seems that that's going to be their main focus for right now. As crazy as dipping, diving, dashing, and dodging everywhere downstairs to try and not get killed through that vertical play. But they've jumped downstairs now. Still have to worry about these Banshees as well of Jarvis, but already gotten rid of one of those.
Bert does go and check over towards mining there to see if anyone is going to be in position. Doesn't find anyone immediately, but there was someone from that angle here. Oh, nice tracing work being done here as well from Vert. Drops a player. Not going to know it so much just as of yet. Still on the ground there too, but Dream in the meanwhile here is going to start to wrap on players like Vert, who are some of the few still left alive. It's just him and Bio here. However, as you saw, it's really only Vert in the site itself. Bio is upstairs having to try and play this one out from the Ash with the G3. He's got some bars to work with, but they're not in his direction. It's so hard to get kills when they're aligned against you like that. He's going to try to work his way over towards the diffuser, at least scared the player on diffuser off it, but in the process of trying to pre-fire onto the player, which was no longer even on the diffuser, exposed himself and is going to leave just enough time here for Tempo to get the counter defuse and win out the round.
I gotta feel bad for Bio on that one. It seemed that the tensions were high there in that instance. Ended up just full-on mag dumping right into one of those bars through that vertical play. Didn't get Mark at all downstairs. And if he was able to actually get that kill into the smoke, I feel like we had a completely different outcome inside of that round. But since they had 3 up, they sent the Jaeger upstairs, let the last 2 remain downstairs, and just continued to bait him on that vertical play, allowing the Jaeger to capitalize on what he needed to do. Kill the man playing the vertical play, get that diffuser diffused, and it's all over from there. So overall, I will say Oxygen, very nice setup to actually be able to get that diffuser down. It's just that the post plant did not work out in their favor, and it really wasn't supposed to. It really was a last ditch effort to claim that round. Just didn't work out for them. Really like this 6 pick coming in though. Gonna have Twitch picked up in place of the Collie.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
All right, guys, let's take a look at this one. Round number 10 coming up here. As Oxygen is looking to try and get back control over this map. He's kind of lost it a little bit here over the last few rounds. Tempo's been doing a fantastic job here so far on the defensive half, trying to run this comeback and bring them back into the fold here to try to take this series away. Oxygen has been chasing the win ever since map number 1. They were able to take control of Theme Park against Tempo. Map number 2, of course, had quite a few victories there as well, but ultimately Tempo was the stronger team on that map. And once again, Tempo is resurging in the second half on defense, just like the previous 2 maps.
We're going to have another Mira set up here, but this time from Tempo Storm all the way upstairs. One of the Miras going down inside a freezer. See exactly where the other one's going to go. Are they going to go for a double Mira and set it up inside of the bathroom? That would be... Oh, no, it's actually downstairs inside of Train. Okay. Good news. It's downstairs inside of Train. All right. That's a good thing. I really thought that they were going to slap 2 upstairs.
That's where the site is.
Really thought they were going to slap it upstairs. What'd you say, friend? I'm sorry.
So that would make sense considering that's where the site is.
That's what I was saying. I was like, listen, if there's 2 mirrors going down, I hadn't checked her utility pool either. So anyways, now for
Tempo just full sending the roam game utility.
It might work though.
Bombs defused by attackers.
A little bit of conservative play there, and that they keep the 1 mirror downstairs, but there's still quite a bit of that roaming presence itself. As you can see, both Creators and I think 2 others from Tempo are currently holding the 3rd floor, if not just 1 other. Drone is going to more than likely spot Creators here. Panic shoots the drone just to make sure that if it did spot him, well, it's not going to spot anyone else. And after the flashes do get dumped in, we are going to see Creators fall back. I thought we were going to see someone leap over and try to hop in there for a sec, but that would be indeed too bold. So not the case. Bio does position a Twitch drone, which we have a Twitch in play here. Fun fact, we don't necessarily see her super often anymore. Always fun to see that coming into the mix, but that drone is going to be hidden on the right side over by Cocktail there, and we'll see if it's able to isolate anything out.
Yeah, it was able to pick up one of the Miras, as well as just in general Twitch being actually a pretty decent pick now, John. She's slightly worked her way into the meta, just in the regards of, oh my god, what was that? There was 3 people that just all of a sudden died out of thin air. So yeah, some trades ensuing, but Tempo Storm coming out on top of it, and that's definitely going to be a very, very good thing for them. OXG now in a very bad predicament for offensive side Cafe. Tempo still have control of Christmas as well. This is just so bad. So bad for Oxygen.
All 3 roamers upstairs are still alive as well here at this point. Jarvis was the one from Tempo that ended up going down, but as far as I can remember, he was never committed to this, so he must have died through some other circumstance. May have tried to make a play or something. Another one for the VOD. Mark, he's got right timing on this, but no, the pre-fire coming in from the hatch. Didn't know he had already been spotted out, so Slash is going to be able to take him out. And on top of that, it denies the potential Nitro Cell kill that could have happened from the defender if he had chucked it out the window, tried to kill the other member of Oxygen on Repel there. Good save. Good timing on that kill.
Yeah, that's Ping 2.0 system coming into play. Pinged exactly where he was. Guy had no idea, and he shot him right in his face through the soft wall for red. So very nice play there for Oxygen, utilizing that information and that new ping system that's been implemented by Ubisoft. So Tempo Storm now on equal footing with OXG, but that's going to change very quickly as Creators takes down Lax inside of Hell. Still have the diffuser, though. That's going to be inside of Slash's hands as he's going to get a kill as well. Waiting for the rotation here from Reading, but they need to get this diffuser down, and Bio has to watch over Slash as he does so. Immediately hops off, but Dream's already killed him. The damage has already been done. Now they just have to wait. 0-0-0 on the timer, and the defense wins off of that time. Bio just not having the crossfire needed to be able to support his teammate.
Yeah, it was basically you had to get that plant there. There wasn't going to be enough time, and even if there was for him to try and get on the ground, it would have been a confirmed death basically at that point due to his opponents being so close to where the planning was taking place there. Nice attempt again from Slash. Slash really is the only player that helps out too much to get them to that point in the round itself. He's been doing fantastic work, specifically on the attacking side here for OXG to try to push them further and get them closer to some 1 rounds here, but unfortunately things have been falling just short so many times.
Yeah, it's a very slow beginning for Oxygen on almost every single one of these rounds, and that's not a bad thing. That's just kind of how Cafe works. You have to drone through, you have to make sure no one's playing any ratty angles. Where's the utility set up? Do they have a roam game going on? There's obviously a lot of things that can possibly happen on Cafe, so you got to give them the benefit of the doubt, or any offensive team on Cafe the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. But when it comes down to the side executes right now, they always show up to the party at a very bad time. Like, whether they're down man or they don't have the proper utility or what have you, it just, they continue to get stuck, and it really hasn't been the best for them for these last handful of rounds. This is now 2 rounds in a row again for Tempo Storm after they just went back-to-back on their offense. So OXG need to wake up here when it comes to this offensive side, because otherwise this is Tempo more than likely closing things out inside of regulation.
Tempo definitely on a very strong run right now, and it only seems to be getting stronger there. Although Oxygen definitely trying to get close to at least getting that plant onto the ground and forcing the issue down to the wire. That's happened a few times now, and in fact, there's even been 1 round where Oxygen have been able to get it down onto the site, just weren't able to take control in the post plants. Now it's time to see if things will go a little bit better. They are against the downstairs attack yet again, so it's going to be the kitchen hole this time here. The members on Tempo. We still have that extended roam being played out, though, although it's much more over here towards the 2nd floor, and I think even that may get pulled back depending on what the overall plan here is from Crazy. He's got a mirror window, though, so maybe not. Maybe gonna hang out here and train, since he's pretty well set up for himself in this position.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on, and they've also reinforced the Christmas hatch. That was the thing that I was worried about when I initially saw this. So now that that's been handled, doesn't have too much to worry about. Obviously, he still has to worry about Sledge breaking up the floor above him, but that's really about it. Still have to drone things out and see exactly what's going on in this mid floor. Foxy is going to be the first one to do so, but any of these drones that get nabbed by Mozzies or shot, that's all just more damage to this ecosystem of the offense. Now with some vertical play here, ended up droning out the Mozzie of Creators, but he's already skipped town. Do still have to worry about possible 2 members inside of here, but no, it seems that everyone's dropped off. I do believe that that's Amira as well gone. So yes, Crazy's left, everybody gone now for Tempo Storm on that mid floor, giving it up to Oxygen.
So not much coming from the play itself, and including the committed utility in the form of the 1 mirror window, along with anything else they would have committed there. Not much coming from that, but no lost lives either. They don't overcommit to it in any sort of way. They're very smart about it. And I mean, the timing seems pretty okay right now. We're a little over halfway through the round, so it seems like it was a decent waste of time. Probably could have been a bit more active with it if they chose to, but like I said, Tempo more so than anything, kind of taking the safe path throughout this series in this point. That's exactly what they're going to do by moving all those players back to the site. Dream, of course, can also still deny from the downstairs Christmas, that is, over here by the Whitehall.
Well, it's the same thing as they wanted to do last time. They want to give Oxygen Freezer and have them execute through there. You guys saw exactly what happened the last time that Oxygen went for that. Tempo was ready for it on every single front. Now I'm going to toss a smoke grenade in to try and break some line of sight so they can drop hatch safely. And this is exactly where Slash is more than likely going to maintain control for at least a little while. Needs to make sure this VIP player doesn't get away with too much. Oh, piece in there, going to get quite a bit of spray in. Oh, the M590 saving his butt though. Nitro cell out, Slash ready for him. Nice trade, but damage already been done as he's just now getting that hard destruction in. We need to see the rest of OXG let at the scoreboard as this execute now starts now.
A wrap over here out from Coach Check may actually get the better of Fox if he's not careful. He's in safe harbor now, though, so doesn't have to worry about it too much. Jarvis did get dropped, but has recovered. Unfortunately, though, backing up too much here might send him right into, well, never mind, that's going to be Mark's perspective that we're looking at right now, so not too big of a deal there. Either way, a flurry of trades coming out brings it down to a 2v1. Does Oxygen have position to plant, though? That's the question. Their fuser's on the ground. No, they don't. And just by hiding in the corner, Tempo are going to be able to take yet another round under their own control and get that much closer to the W in this series.
You guys better be putting some respect on the name of Tempo Storm. That's all I'm going to say. They are playing so well right now. This is not the same Tempo Storm that we saw before the split. This is not the same Tempo Storm that I've seen for a very, very long time. And the fact that they are, routinely being successful on these, especially the map pool that we've had between these two, I mean, tip of the hat to them. Some impressive stuff coming out, especially with the addition of Jarvis. Jarvis has been playing so well throughout the series so far. Not exactly lighting up the scoreboard, but playing his role to a T. Everything just seems to be working for Tempo Storm right now. And you definitely have to give it up to those new additions.
Definitely the case. Tempo Storm seem to be coming back into stage 2 with quite a bang here, especially if they can take the outright win versus Oxygen. They're only one round away from doing it, but Oxygen also one more round away from tying this up and sending us into 3 more rounds of overtime to truly decide our winner here. Oxygen, they've had some great stuff, especially on the defensive half, but now it's time to truly show up on the attacking side and give us that one convincing round that they need to push this into OT, because if not, this will be a 2-1 victory for Tempo.
Yeah, very impressive stuff. And scoreboard so far for both of these teams actually pretty equal throughout. I will say, though, Slashrug topping the scoreboard for Oxygen, 10-2-7 right now, tied up at 10-1-5 with Lax there. So very nice showing here from Slashrug. Granted, that might be what everyone was memeing about when Ace was coming into Complay. Hey, the hard breach players are about to have a lot of fun, man. AK-12's in play.
So let's look back as well. What I said at the beginning of the half, right? Like if Laxing wasn't going to perform, issues could show up for Oxygen. I don't think Laxing at most has got one kill this half, and I don't even think he got it this half.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten a kill. He had 10 kills at the half.
Yeah. So when you're seeing the impact of that, man, it's just like there is a lack of fragging potential. It seems like, especially in an early round capacity right now for Oxygen, and that's hurting them quite a bit because they're being funneled into quite a few of just these positions where Tempo wants them to be there, and oftentimes when they walk into those spots, Tempo just shut them down round after round again. So Oxygen needs to find some way around this issue, and unfortunately, they only have this round to do it.
You know what it is for me? The thing for me about Oxygen is stuff like this, right? Like right now, we have Vert by himself inside of Train. Not a bad thing, exactly, right? They have plenty of supporting angles to be able to assist him and all that kind of stuff. But if he goes for a play here and dies, there's no tradability. Literally zero.
Yeah.
And that's where Oxygen really starts to lose the mark, is a lot of the times when they go for these plays, people aren't traded. And it's just very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Tempo catches people off guard quite often, at least inside of this matchup for Oxygen. So it's just one of those things where it might be, hey, when we're going up against this team, maybe we need to play a little bit more tight-knit.
It's something that's critiqued super heavily about Oxygen. Like, it's a very common critique I hear about them. But ultimately, it comes down to, like, that's their, to a certain extent, like, that's their play style in a lot of ways, depending on the round you're looking at.
They should live by the sword and die by the sword, huh?
Yeah, very much. Like, I think they're very well aware of that issue. So we are going to see a little bit of action here from OXG as they move themselves out into the main front area there. Try and swing around over towards the library from the looks of it. They did open up the fireplace wall to go to the inside of dining, but trying to plant there, especially with the current man count, is just going to be way too difficult. 1-for-1 trade, though. as both Laxing and Dream
What
are
is
going to be lost
happening?
from either side of this one.
What?
Lux swinging out there as well. 2 more players from Oxygen are actually going to fall here. They're not able to properly navigate that duel, and they end up going down. Bio will fall as well. This is the end game, folks. It's all on Vert. A 1v4 situation. It's kept alive only by the fact that he was hiding out and trained this entire round. Back when Stokes and I started that initial conversation, he's going to try to bring this 1v4 back under his control somehow, and he's only got 40 seconds to do it. He trades on that final kill, to be fair to him, but it's not enough. Jarvis takes him down, and Tempo take control of the series. A final scoreline on the final map of 7-5, and an overall series score of 2-1 in favor of Tempo.
Oh, Tempo. I am so very impressed with you guys. Very well done. The boot camping, whatever you have done, all of the practice from the previous stage to now has led up to this moment. And